Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video, and since the AFL season is going to start tomorrow, as I'm recording this with round zero, it's about time I bought this. It's about time I bought this back for another year. This is my ladder predictions for the 2024 Toyota AFL season. I still can't believe it's come around again. It's only just yesterday that Collingwood won the flag. Yeah. Thank God that's it. That's gone. Thank God that's history. Thank Christ for that. And finally, we've got this season to look forward to. It's going to be an unbelievably great season as well for the AFL season. Of course, last year I did do two ladder predictions. One with this, and another one with I'm trying to remember what it was. Maybe I'll search this. I'll search it up. I think. Trying to Squiggle. That's the one. Squiggle. I couldn't remember it actually. I couldn't remember it to be honest. But Squiggle. So I'm gonna. So this time. So I did do two of them, but this year I'm just gonna do the one. To be honest, this year, just yeah. And yeah. So yeah. Oh, excuse me. So let's just get this over and done with, shall we? So with this, so let's start off with obviously the bottom three teams. Let's put it this way. Here, let's put it this way. Yeah. And they're pretty simple. Let's get it straight out of the way. West Coast in 18th, North 17th. And Hawthorn in 16th. Yeah. Yeah, not surprising, to be honest. Firstly, with West Coast, just the only question going to 2024 is, to be honest, how shit are they going to be? Like, we all thinking 2023 can't get any worse, can it? Well, there's a possibility it can. Let's put it that way. To make matters worse, I mean, the stars they got in their team. They should be like not like where they are right now. Well, they should be not just above North, but they should be like in and around in and around. You know, somewhere between 10th to 13th with the talent that they've got on their side, which combined out of their youth and experience, they still got a talented squad. Unfortunately, it's a lot of other things that has let them down in a really ugly way. In the last since the latter half of 2021, they've been on this massive downward spiral. It culminated in 2020 in the Wooden Spoon last year, and a lot of other ugly performances. But for the only upside really for them is number one draft pick Harley Reid. Like, how good is he going to be exactly? In their last practice match, which not surprisingly they got smashed by 11 goals against the Adelaide Crows. Looking at how he went. Look at how he went. He didn't do that bad. He got 20 touches. 20 touches in the game. Yeah, you got 20 touches, touches. 4 marks, 357 meters gain. It's not a bad effort in a practice match for him. But the real test lies ahead this next week. Not this week, but next week, when he plays his first game of AFL football. I'd said this last year that West Coast, that they couldn't get any worse than 2022. Well, they did. I'm going to say it again. They surely can't be worse than in 2023. Knowing me, they'll probably will match, if not beat, how shit they were in 2023. Most likely. Moving on to North Melbourne. Moving on to the Shinboners. There's a little bit of upside there for North. They've got Alistair Clarkson, of course, in his second season there. Apparently they've teased this fast game style, which they teased about in the first half of in their first practice match against a weakened Collingwood side. Let's put it that way. They did have most of their grand final heroes, but not really, to be honest. So it was just basically a trial run for North's game style, pretty much. And then the game against St Kilda, and the game against the Saints, which wasn't. It looked like at half time. It looked like I didn't watch all these. Look at the scores here. Look at half time when the lead was like 34 points. It looked like it. It didn't look great to be honest. At half time. To be honest, guys, I didn't watch all this game. You might be thinking to yourself, I'm speaking like I watched all these games. I didn't. I was planning on to, but I sort of forgot to. So yeah, just so you might think I'm a bit of a flogging away. But in credit to them, they came back in a 5-goal third time. They actually brought them back to 3 at 3/4 time. But unfortunately, they sort of ran out of steam, and St Kilda ran away with the win at the end of the day. But that third quarter was I won't be surprised if Clarko is saying that's what they want from them all game, and eventually they'll get to like that perfect 4-quarter performance. And then also with their players, you got a lot of upside. You got LDU. You got Cam Zaha, and you got and of course you got Coleman Medal runner up in Nick Larkey. So if you and with alongside with the likes of McDonald, Simpkin, obviously he's not going to play. I was thinking round 1 because of the controversial incident with Webster. I'll talk about that when we get to St Kilda. And then also you got the get Stevenson right as well. And I'm interested to know how the ruck stocks are gonna go, how North's ruck stocks are gonna go with Todd Goldstein leaving them. I'm not just saying that because I'm saying that really, not saying that because he's going to Essendon. Let's put it that way. But I'm interested to see how their ruck stocks are going to go. I'm not sure, to be honest, who would be. I'm trying to see who was their ruckman. Tristan Cherry was their ruckman for that match against the Saints in the practice match last week. And if I look at his stats and see how he and see how he went. Let's see how he went. Didn't do too bad. Got 31 hit outs. Got 31 hit outs. Had 16 touches. So not a bad display for a ruckman. But yeah, but it's clearly going to be a battle to see who's going to be number one ruck now that Goldie is gone from North Melbourne. So yeah, and then finally Hawthorn. There's out of the three, they have the biggest upside and I speak only because of their mix of a long list of youth, and then also experience as well. But they're also in the middle in terms of their quality as well. I mean, they got like Mitch Lewis, who at his best could be one of the best key forwards in the game. You got Jai Newcomb, who's on his way to be pretty much on his way to becoming an elite midfielder. And then of course you got the captain James Sicily doing his usual performances as usual. Just do superhuman like 40 odd touches and 15 marks, something like that. And then next week he gets suspended. So yeah. And then also you got guys like Dylan Moore, a youngster there, Dylan Moore, Will Day as well. And then you got some of the I don't know where you can count Carl Amon in this league, but maybe one of the veterans as well. And also the veteran himself in Luke Brust. Obviously, he just seems to get better and better with age. To be honest, don't know when Lukey Brust is going to stop, really. But I fit, and also that crop of youngsters as well that debuted that a lot of them that debuted a lot last year. They're in their second year now, so yeah. And then also to add to that list as well, you got King Marbia in there as well, coming from his stint at the Gold Coast Suns in Marbia Chol. So yeah. And also Jack Gidderman as well. I forgot to mention Jack Gidderman as well, coming from Collingwood as well, just to of course add that bit of what's the word I'm looking for? A bit of spark up forward there for Guinea and Guinea, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's why I see a lot of upside in Hawthorn in comparison to North and West Coast, to be honest, and that's why I put them above both of them, to be honest, and yeah, and yeah, so yeah, and not surprisingly, that they finished the exact same positions as they did last year. So yeah. Speaking of finishing in the exact same position, I've got in 15th. This might surprise some people and Freo fans over in the West. Please don't hate me. It's the Fremantle Dockers. I just think at this point I can see a rerun of when Ross Lyon was in charge. I can just see a repeat of it happening where they had their period. I know it was 1 year for this time under Justin Longmuir, but I could see them pretty much go to the top and then just spend a few years down the bottom end. I just feel like it. Maybe I'm underestimating them, and maybe that they challenge for finals again in their second year. I think it's their fifth year under Justin Longmuir. But yeah, and if it's true, then maybe it's a possibility that Justin Longmuir might be in trouble at the end of the season. I mean, I mean, look at these guys that he has at his disposal. I mean, you got guys in the back line like Luke Ryan, and Hayden Young. You got a midfield that has probably one of the best midfield duos in the game right now, in Caleb Sarong and Andy Brayshaw. And then also you got a forward line that you got a bit of sparkle in there, such as Michael Frederick or the two Michaels, in fact, Frederick and Walters. And then also you got Lukey Jackson in there as well, who can play in there too, but as well. As in the ruck alongside Sean Darcy, and then also you got my boy who I believed in ever since his elimination final performance in 2022 in Jai Amos. Who I think he'll have even more of a breakout year than he was in 2023 and then he had in 2023, and that is with a team I predict to be in 15th. So yeah, but I think for me, I mean, if they were to climb up the ladder again, they need to have the defense that they had in 2022, and also score a lot more. Now that with the whole 6-6-6 thing, and of course the stand rule thing, you need to at least score. It's good having defend. It's good to defend, but you need to score at least. And Freo did pretty much neither of them for most of 2023, to be honest. So that was that pretty much, and also their performance in the practice game against Port really didn't help matters in terms of where I was putting them, to be honest, in terms of, should I put them up, should I put them down, should I stay there? Well, it basically answered my question and pretty much just put them stay there, pretty much, really, yeah. On to 14th. And that is my boys boys over at Tullamarine. That is the Essendon Football Club. Some people would have had them like around 9th to 11th, but I know it'd probably just be me maybe underestimating my own team in a way. But historically, in the last 7 or 8 years, we often go on this big roller coaster where we go we go and challenge finals, and the next year we just go, and then we just go back up, and then back down again. That's the trend I've been having recently. And obviously, of course, in terms of Essendon, if I can get their list down here. I mean, they've got of course they've got some talented players in there in all corners of the ground. You got the likes of Jordan Ridley, who's going to be missing the first, I think, 3-4 weeks of the season with I think it's a quad injury. I think it's a quad injury. Unfortunately, which is not the best sign for us. Then you got the Red Dog in Mason Redman. And then obviously in the practice match against Geelong, we trialled Nick Martin out on the half back line, and he really did well on that front. I mean, I think he had 28. I think he had 28 touches and kicked 3 goals. I think. I think 28 touches and 2 goals. I was close to being right on that front. 28 touches, 2 goals, and 11 marks to add to that as well, and a lazy 562 meters gained just to add to that as well. But obviously in the midfield, and obviously of course you got Andy McGrath in there in the back line there as well. And then of course you got the midfield. You got the skipper Zach Merritt. You got Parrish. And then of course you added of course Xavier Dersma, the bow and arrow. Can't wait for him to kick a goal and do that celebration in front of the Essendon fans, please. Just like he did to us in one game in 2019. Unfortunately, it was with the wrong. He was with the wrong team, but in Port Adelaide. But anyways, and he also did all right as well. I mean, he had 23 touches. 23 touches. So it was not too bad really. For him. Elijah Tasadis also impressed as well in that game. In the game last Saturday, I mean, with 24 touches, 24 touches as well. And also Gresham, and also at times Jay Gresham as well. Could go in there at times as well. Then you got the likes of who was it? Who was it? Sam Durham. Sam Durham. Yeah, he there as well. Oh, and I also forgot to mention Ben Mackay as well in the back line as well. I forgot to mention him as well. And then obviously you got the forward line. You got Peter Wright. You got I said Gresham, you got Jones, you got Stringer in there as well. He needs to freaking lift. He did. The only game which he I guess teared apart really was the GWS game earlier in the year where he kicked that massive barrel, and he also kicked what was it, 4 goals 6 that day. But other than that, he was nowhere all season pretty much. So I think for me he needs to lift, and then obviously you got Kyle Langford as well. Who would have thought a guy who started up as a midfielder who turned into I like to call it the one. I called him all 2023. At the everywhere man, because he can go everywhere. He can go back. He can go back. He can go in the midfield. He can be a key forward. He can even be a ruck if you want him to. That's why I called him the everywhere man. Probably maybe this year I'll still call him the everywhere man because obviously, yeah, and yeah. So what do I think Essendon needs to go the next level and at least challenge, if not make finals again in 2023, knowing probably it's highly unlikely. But I think for me, under Brad Scott, I realised that throughout most of the under Brad Scott, I felt like there was two things we were lacking, and that was ruthlessness. We were lacking ruthlessness, especially in the latter half of the year. Ruthlessness is one, and then unrelentlessness is another. I mean, those are the top teams like Collingwood, Melbourne, Brisbane. Those are the teams that have those type of things. Essendon does not have both of them, to be honest. And I think to be honest, Brad Scott needs to. That is my criticism of Scotty at this point, is that he doesn't. I know that he was late on the scene in 2022 pre-season, leading to 2023, but now with a full postseason and pre-season under their belts, probably he can staunch that into the team, hopefully, and maybe have more success. Hopefully have more success in 2023. Hopefully have more success in the back half of the season. That would be nice. That would be nice. But judging by that, I don't think so, because normally with the trend, they normally go up and down. Last year, we challenged for finals and then we teed it off, and I think we're in for a fall this year, unfortunately. So yeah. In 13th, unlucky for some, is the boys from the Whitten Oval in the Western Bulldogs. Maybe a controversial call, and I can see why, because of the amount of talent that this team has. Obviously, led by Marcus Bontempelli. Of course, you got the likes of Jamara Ugle-Hagan. You got Cody Waitman. Bailey Dale, Tom Liberatore, Timmy English in there as well. But for me, the one thing I think I think they had this at the worst time, really, and that was the ACL injury to Bailey Smith, because if they didn't lose Josh Dunkley at the end of 2022, then this drama would not have happened. But now it's only down to, of course, like the guys like Treloar, Bontempelli, and Liberatore, really, and not a lot of other, and also you got Jack McRae in there as well, but he's also injured as well. So it's still one on those, but I think there'll be about McRae for the start of the season, and if any one of those three go down, one of those three in the Bont, Treloar, and Liberatore, then they got problems. Yeah, so that is the real problem with me for Bailey Smith here. But in terms of the other positions, they got no problems. I mean, you got Bailey Dale, who looks better than ever in his position in the back line. And then of course in the forward line, you got the three big heads down there in Ugle-Hagan, Ugle-Hagan, Norton, and Rory Lobb in there as well. Then Artie Jones, I think I think he's probably likely going to be in their best 22 alongside Cody Waitman as well. So yes, that's what I think really on that front there. As I said, I get why this could be such a controversial, thing. Controversial in the Bulldogs being where I place them, but to be honest, and to be honest, the teams above them will probably, in terms of depth wise, are better than the others as well. There. On to 12th place. Now, I had a bit of a shuffle with this team. I had them as high as 9th. But thanks to all the the last practice matches last week has got me sliding down the order and got them into position now, which is 12th, and that is the Gold Coast Suns. The reason why I first had them in 9th was I felt like to be honest, don't get me wrong, I still think this might be true. I still think that they'll do a Carlton in 2019. Not so much being finals for finals position for the first 22 weeks, and then the final week for the first 23 weeks, and the final week of the season they drop out of the 8 entirely. I just feel like maybe latter half of the season, maybe they get it. and then maybe with like heading into the last game, all they need is a win or something like that, and they play finals, but they don't, and then basically another team just pimps them to that spot in the 8, and they drop out to 9th at the end of the day. I thought that, but for me, I think it's just going to be another 10th to 12th position for me. At the end of the day, that made me change. That their performance in the practice match changed my mind about it. But you never know. They probably might do. I mean, it got the quality. They got the quality there, in the likes of Took Miller and Jack Lukosius as well, and also Noah Anderson as well, who proved on in leaps and bounds. Or for especially Lukosius last year. But the most important thing was, the team stepped up when you remember when during the middle part of the year, Took Miller, I think, went down, I believe, with a knee in the middle part of the year, which and we all thought, oh geez, here we go, they're gonna drop down the ladder here, but they actually had some very good performances. Especially down at TIO Stadium. I mean, you don't want to play the Gold Coast Suns at TIO Stadium because they're going to beat you. Let's put it that way. Maybe they should switch that to their home instead of over at Carrara, pretty much. But or whatever it's named is, Heritage Bank Stadium, I believe it's called. So yeah. And then also in other players as well, like Jared Witts, he's another one that basically just doesn't know when to stop, pretty much, as a ruckman. In terms of Collingwood's ruck problems. Well, I know they got Darcy Cameron in there, but they're probably maybe they should have kept Witsy, because he's turned into a fine ruckman for the Gold Coast Suns, and then obviously with other youngsters as well, like of course of Rao, of course of the likes of Rao, King. And then obviously I can't mention the Gold Coast Suns without Moe and Newborough's finest in Sam Flanders and Bailey Humphrey. I just can't mention the Gold Coast Suns without mentioning those two particular players. But I think for me, I'm gonna watch the Gold Coast Sun, their game against Richmond on, was it Saturday? I think Saturday night. With a lot of interest to see how this Richmond-like game style works under Dimmer at the Gold Coast Suns with this young team. I'm interested to see how that goes, to be honest. And yeah, so hopefully, hopefully we'll see success under Dimmer in his first season in charge over at the Goldie. In 11th position, I've got St Kilda. Some people, I don't think, some people have mentioned back in the 8. I remember Kane McDonald has even put them in the top 4, and I went, whoa, settle down there. And I know that they beat North in their practice game, but I think for some reason I don't see them being. And I saw on SCN that David King's put St Kilda as one of his 6 automatic locks for finals, which I thought, I don't know, to be honest. I did have him as low as probably 13th at the start of it, just a bit of a final guess, and then because of the performance, I bumped them up a bit, bumped them up to 11th. But I don't see them. Like some of the teams that I haven't mentioned yet. I mean Sydney. Sydney have even though they're about Buddy, which I'll mention in a bit. They've got a talented side. Geelong too as well. Port Adelaide, Richmond. Do I think that they're better than those sides? Unfortunately, I don't. To be honest, that's just my opinion. I don't think so. In a way, maybe I'm wrong. There is a possibility I'm wrong, and maybe they do qualify for finals again, or maybe do take the extra step and maybe contend for top 4, possibly. But for me, and in terms of their talent, in terms of their talent, I mean, they got one of the best key backs in the competition in Callum Wilkie. They got one of the best players off half back in the game in Jack Sinclair. One of the best ruckmen in the game in Rowan Marshall. I mean, and then of course you got Brad Crouch at his best. Can be one of the best midfielders. You got Jack Higgins at his best. He can be one of the best medium smallish forwards in the game. Of course, you got Max King, who if he didn't miss all the time, then he could be possibly the best key forward in the game. See on the word possibly. Huge emphasis on the word possibly. That is what. There is potential there, and I know. I get. That they still have those talented players, but the quality that it left. I mean, they lost Gresham and Billings and that, but then some of the guys in their second year, like Mitch Owens, Anthony Camaminti, some of those guys as well, Philippou as well. Could they really step up to a level that could take the Saints to the next level? I'm a bit 50-50 on that. That's why I put them down in 11th position at this point. For me, in my opinion, just missing out on the finals as well. I might as well put these two together. As I said them, in 9th and 10th. In 10th, I've got Sydney, and in 9th position, I have got. Oops, I just dropped it. I have got right over the G-Town, Geelong. I think they'll just miss out on finals. To be honest, first off to Sydney, looking at their side, I mean, they've added in, of course, Brodie Grundy and Taylor Adams, both from Collingwood as well, to their midst this year. Of course, they lost the big guy in Buddy Franklin, the Budwa, obviously with his retirement. But adding to those two as well, of course, to the likes of Warner, Heaney, Papley, Goulden, who believe it or not, I think Goulden could actually be a contender for the Brownlow, to be honest. And then of course you got Blake, you got Parker, who's currently out injured with a broken arm. Of course you got Tom McCartan, who's unfortunately now the only McCartan after Paddy unfortunately announced his retirement. But there's a lot of upside there for Sydney. But I just feel like the teams above them, I feel like they got a lot more upside than Sydney. But don't get me wrong, they got a lot of upside, but not enough to basically convince me to basically put them in the top 8, basically. And the same for Geelong. I trust me, I really wanted to put Geelong back in the top 8. Maybe they would. Maybe they go back to Geelong of old. Maybe go back in the top 4 at some stage. But I get the feeling that get a feeling here that last year is probably the start of a sort of lean period for Geelong after so much success. I mean, what's wrong with that? What would be wrong with that? I mean, you've had over this time, you've made what is it like? What is it like? 13 finals in 14 years, four flags, 4 flags on the way, minor premierships, several finals wins along the way as well. Several other grand final appearances as well, like in 08 and 2020. But I think this is where I believe the lean period starts really for Geelong, and I think that they'll challenge for finals all the way through. I don't think if they were to make finals, I believe they need the best from the likes of like Jeremy Cameron, Tommy Hawkins, Patrick Dangerfield, Tom Stewart as well. And then also their youngsters as well, like brought in last year, like Ollie Henry and Tanner Brewer as well. They need improvement out of those guys, and also some they've drafted previously as well. De Koning I put up there as well. That would need to lift, and a whole lot of others as well. They need the best out of those guys really to get their position in the finals. Where they sit, I don't think that would be enough for them. So that's about halfway. Now we move into the juicy part of this video. My top 8. Who will it be? So putting these two together. In 8th place, I have got the Port Adelaide Football. I've got the Port Adelaide Football Club going making finals again, but not top 4 what they did last year. I have them in 8th, and how appropriately in 7th position, I've got crosstown rivals, the Adelaide Crows. I rate the Crows very, very highly this year, to be honest, which I'll get to in a bit. Port Adelaide, I don't think they could. The only reason really that they finished top 4 was because of that ridiculous 13-match winning streak. I mean, to be honest, yeah. But if you take that out of it, to be honest, if you take that, I'm gonna try and get up a ladder here. I'm gonna try and get this up. Here we go. So let's go Port Adelaide. So if you take that massive win streak out of it, their record is 1-3. They got, that's 1-6. 1-6. I'm doing maths here, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on a second. 1-6, 8. That's 8. That is 4. It is 4-8. If you take out the 13-match winning streak. If you take out the 13-match winning streak, then they're pretty much average. Pretty much. Maybe I don't know. Maybe just possibly they took their foot off the gas. Maybe at the latter half of the year because they knew that that top 4 had been accomplished. But yeah, and of course you got. And of course, added to their list, I mean, you got some of the most exciting talent they got in the game, like you got Connor Rozee, you got Zach Butters, which by the way, Rozee, I can't wait to see how he goes as captain. To be honest, you got Sam Powell-Pepper, who's going to be missing the first couple of weeks due to suspension. Of course, you got the Essendon heartbreaker in there in Dan Houston. I'm still trying to get over. Still trying to get over that game, to be honest. Then of course you got like the Leah Lee, you got Willie Rioli, you got Jeremy Finlayson as well. Then of course you got the lots of Miles Bergman, you got Jason Horn-Francis, and of course you got Ollie Lord as well, who came on and leads to bounce during the final series for Port. But I get the feeling that I don't think that, as I said, the only reason why they finished top 4 last year was that winning streak. That was the only reason. If you, as I said, if you take it out of it, then they're pretty much average, really, and you can't say, oh, come on, but the stats don't lie. It doesn't lie. In between, if you take that winning streak out of it, it just doesn't. So yeah, that's Moving on to the other team from South Australia in the Adelaide Crows. I've got such high hopes for them heading into 2024. You just got excitement. Like all the way across the board from their back line, their midfield, their forwards, their forward line. The back line obviously you got the likes you got the likes of Rory Laird at stages being down there. You got Brodie Smith down there at times as well. You got Mitchell Hinge, who I've been starting to rate very highly, to be honest, with his capabilities as a backman, to be honest. And then of course you got the midfield of Ben Keys. You got Matt Crouch, Jordan Dawson in there as well. Just to add to that, also you got guys like Rory Sloane in there as well, who can go in there at times. Then you got, and then of course the big thing, the key for the forwards. Just listen to these names. You got Isaac Rankin, you got Taylor Walker, you got Josh Rochelle, who can also go into the midfield as well at times. You got Darcy Fogarty. You got Riley Philthorpe, who unfortunately will miss the first 3 months or so of the season. But despite that, he's still a good talent too. In the ruck as well, got a good ruckman in there in Riley O'Brien. So they've got all the bases down pat in terms of their back line, to be honest. And I forgot in terms of their back line. I'll say with their back line, I forgot to mention Michael Lenny as well, who are also, along with Hinge, also starting to rate very highly, to be honest. As well. I was even considering them putting them up in 6th position, but the reason why I didn't put them highly after their win against West Coast was because they just beat West Coast, which is nothing really. So that's why I put them in 7th position there. But I won't be surprised if they actually finish higher. Maybe top 4. Pretty bold, but I won't be surprised if it happens. Let's put it that way. And to be fair, also one last thing before I move on, as well. If you that massive umpiring blunder that cost Adelaide a final spot late last year against the Swans. If they got that right, in alternate universe, they got that one right, the goal umpire gives it the goal, Adelaide win the game. No, it wasn't a goal. Gives it a goal. Adelaide win the game. They get 8th position. I mean, they beat Carlton earlier that year, smashed them, and I know Carlton were a different side to what they were in the finals, but still they can have that really to upset them. I mean, moving on to the next week, Melbourne, they could take it up to them as well, but maybe Brisbane maybe be a step too far, but still. But still, they would have gone far in the finals, in my opinion, if they made it. If those events in that game against Sydney were reversed, and basically the umpire had given that a goal instead of giving it a point. So yeah. So moving on. In 5th and 6th, so in 6th now. So in 6th position. This might be a shock to everyone. In 6th position, I have the Richmond Football Club. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. 6th, Richmond. And in 5th is a team that I originally had them in the top 4, but had to consider their performance in their practice match against Melbourne. I had to put them down in 5th. And that is the Blue Baggers, the Carlton Football Club. Now, first off, explain. It might be saying, Brayden, explain yourself. Why have you put Richmond in 6th? You could have put him anywhere. You could have put him down with the likes of Fremantle and Essendon. Why did you put him in the finals and put him in 6th? Well, I could have put him in the top 4. Just to really shock everyone, but I thought, nah, it's probably a bridge too far, to be honest. To be honest, the only reason why I put him in 6 is I'm sensing a bit of a trend here in the last couple of years. It started off in 2022 when, or it started off in 2021, to be honest, with Essendon. When Ben Rutten took over in 2021 fully, everyone was expecting Essendon not to do much in 2021, yet they made finals. Yes, they lost in that one against the Bulldogs, but that massive jump for 1 year, and some of them even predicted them to win the Spoon, and yet they made finals. The same too in 2022 for Collingwood when they were first under Craig McRae. Everybody was saying, "Oh, Collingwood for the Spoon, Collingwood for the Spoon." What happened was they were a point away from making a grand final in their first in Fly's first year as Pies coach. And then last year when GWS appointed Adam Kingsley, another first-year coach, we all thought, nah, GWS is not going to do much. And for most of the season, it was until the latter half of the season where they stormed home and finished in the finals position, and then in the finals, breezed past St Kilda at the MCG, breezed past Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. Then in the preliminary final, we all thought at half time that we were going to blitz past Collingwood, eventual premiers Collingwood, and eventually they unfortunately lost that one by a point in that one. And it drew me to the conclusion of why not happen to Richmond under Adam Uze? Why not? I mean, there's still a bit of the crop a bit of the star crop that's still there. Like you got guys like Vlosten, and Bolter. You got Dusty and Timmy Taranto. You got still got Tom Lynch in there too. You still got one of the best players in the game in Shea Bolton in there as well. So it's the biggest question would probably be, what does Uze do with these guys? What does he do? Especially, what does he do with Dusty? What's he gonna do to him? Is he gonna get him to do what Damien Hardwick had done. That is basically mixing midfield and forward. Does he do full-time forward? Does he do full-time mid? We don't know. But at this point, but from what I've heard from the Richmond players, is he is quite happy there. So at the moment, so the vibe over at Richmond under Adam Uze is really positive at this point. And who knows? Maybe around mid-season, maybe they do end up around 13, 14, 15th, and somehow just do this march up the ladder, the latter half of the season. They do make finals, then do a GWS, and that is go from and then winning final after final, and then basically falling short. But yeah. So who knows about that? As I said, why not? Why not? To be honest, and if I am right, everyone would probably be bowing down to me at this point. So yeah, that's But fifth place for but moving on to Carlton. I mean Carlton. I mean they had that massive run in the back half of the season, where they won, what was it, 14 of their last 16 games in the latter half of the year. That was after all the rumour talk about maybe Michael Voss getting the sack after only 18 months in the job. And then basically, boom, and then they went bang, 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 extra double bang in the back half of the season. And to quote the words of Joey Montagna after that thrilling game against the Gold Coast Suns, this team was never going to be stopped. Well, they were by GWS in the next week, and then in the finals, I mean, for about 30 odd minutes in that first quarter in the prelim, we all thought, oh, hang on. It's gonna be a Carlton Collingwood grand final here, and eventually our reality, we were all just pulled down to reality, and basically Brisbane won the game. But I think for me, I feel like it's not. I feel like I just feel like. I mean, they got probably one of the more talented sides in the competition. I mean, look at these names. You got Chera, you got Williams, you got Cripps, you got Mackay, and you got McGovern, you got Doherty, Walsh, Martin, Wiedering, who's getting missed like I think it's the first couple of months of the season with injury. You got Nick Newman there as well. You got back-to-back Brett Coleman medal winner Charlie Curnow. You got Adam Sard. That is a really talented list, and it was about time really that they really got their act together in terms of making a final. And finally, they did in 2023, and actually delivering as well on that stage as well, and I won't be surprised if that basically does happen, and yeah, so as I said, I won't be surprised if that particular thing does happen, and be more consistent, and basically be maybe contending more for top 4 than just basically starting off down the bottom end of the ladder and then being on a massive winning streak and then just basically skyrocket up the ladder. Which will probably help the nerves of very, very few loyal Carlton supporters, or massive amount of Carlton supporters. To be honest, I speak on behalf of them. I don't think they need to go for another roller coaster ride. Let's put it that way. Moving on to that, you got 3rd and 4th. Here, and those are as follows in 4th place. Well, actually, you know what? let's do the top 4 all in one. All in one. In 4th place, I have got reigning premiers Collingwood in 4th. In 3rd place, I've got GWS. In 2nd place, I've got the D's themselves in the Melbourne Football Club. And not surprisingly, who I picked to be minor premiers is the Brisbane Lions. Quite obvious, really. So let's start off with Collingwood. Now, for starters, definitely did not make the same mistake that I did last year, and that's basically putting them out of the finals, and then they basically won the flag. That was pretty much embarrassing. I openly admit I got that one wrong. Terribly wrong. So yeah. But as I said, but you got to admit, you know why. Sort of get why I put them down there, because I thought they wouldn't repeat what they did in 2022, except they did pretty much, and some, to be honest. But yeah, and basically, and all the finals were pretty much all won by single figure. I don't think it's been talked about. I think that has to be one of the tightest aggregate margins by a team that won the flag during its finals run. I mean, they won by what was it? They won. Let me try and they won by 7 points against Melbourne in the first final. They bet GWS by a point in the prelim, and they bet Brisbane by 2 points in the granny. So if you count that is 10. That is an aggregate of 10 points. That has to be a record for the lowest aggregate margin by a premiership team that in for its finals run we've ever seen. That has to be the case. It has to be. Yeah, as I said, it just has to be, really. But yeah, and so like, I mean, this still kept the same core. And then also added a couple in there as well, like Lockie Schultz. To be honest, as well. I mean, they had most of their grand final stars. Most of their players playing the game against Richmond in that Charity Shield game, which they won. So I think they will contend again. But I don't think they would be as dominant as they were last year. To be honest, there's a lot of teams above them that I put above them that really do seek redemption or have a point to prove. To be honest, in this particular season, speaking of that, let's move on to GWS. The surprise packet of let's be honest, alongside Carlton of the 2023 second half of 2023, and of course the final series, which was pretty much a repeat of almost a repeat of their 2019 finals run, where they bet the Western Bulldogs at home, then they bet Brisbane in the semi-final, then they bet Collingwood in the preliminary final, and then they got smashed by Richmond in the grand final. But the one thing that's clear to me is some of the names here. I mean, this is just the effect that Adam Kingsley has had. Now that he's come to grips with the role, with the senior coaching role. I mean, look at these names. You got you got Toby Green in the best form, in career best form. You got Tom Green, who's probably in Brownlow medal contention. I mean, you got Cornelio rejuvenated under Kingsley, Whitfield rejuvenated. Callum Ward rejuvenated as well. Haynes the same. Kelly the same. Hogan the same. As well. Lockie Ash has turned to a really decent player there. He was a bit of a diamond in the rough, to be honest, when he was under Leon Cameron. Now he's thriving under Adam Kingsley, and also Kieran Briggs as well. I won't be surprised if by the end of this season he'll be up there with maybe top five ruckman in the league. To be honest, it really has the credentials with that. With that, I think for me, I think they'll definitely do what I'm not necessarily saying what Collingwood did, and that's win the flag, but I won't be surprised if it does, if they do. Let's put it that way. But I won't be surprised if they do decide to finish in top 4. I won't be surprised by that, to be honest. I won't be surprised by that, but I have a lot of credit for Adam Kingsley, in their improvement in the second half of the season in 2023, and I won't be surprised if it does continue into 2024. Moving on to the D's. Yet again, for the second straight year, not winning a final. They lost to Collingwood by 7 points, and then lost in that heartbreaking game against Carlton by a point, which we all thought they had the win for all money, but they didn't. So for me, I know some people have actually put them outside the top 4, like around 7th to 8th, which was surprising to me in a way. I feel like that everyone's underestimating Melbourne. I mean, in terms of their, I know they had a turbulent off season. I know that with the whole Smith thing, and then obviously with the whole drama surrounding Clayton Oliver, but they still got a decent call. Still got their decent call from their 2021 flag. I mean, you got May Petrarca, Viney, Lever, Gorn, Oliver, Fritsch, Pickett, BBB himself, Big Ben Brown, as well as also adding that as well in also Lockie Hunter and Trent Rivers as well, who's come on in leaps and bounds over the last 12 months. And then also you got as well, probably the player that they probably needed the most, and that was Shane McAdam from Adelaide. The acquisition, as I say, of Shane McAdam from Adelaide. And I think for me that partnership with Cozzy, that's gonna get Melbourne fans up and about. To be honest, those two just running amok around the MCG. That's just gonna be exciting to watch. To be honest, not even if you're not a Melbourne fan, that'll be pretty exciting. To be honest, but yeah, to be honest, yeah, I think for me, the Melbourne Football Club in there, fighting. I think that they would fight it out for the top 4, straight. To be honest, and then of course the minor premiers, Brisbane, quite simply, no, I mean, redemption is, I think, it's the only word that comes to mind in terms of 2024, to be honest. I mean, they lost last year. I mean, Chris Fagan said that 2023 was the year for them. It wasn't, but I think 2024 will be the year. And I think if 2024, and this is I think their best shot at it, I think, in 2024, based off of their heartbreak in 2023. If it doesn't happen in 2024, I don't think it happens. Let's put it that way. But I said that about Geelong before 2022, and I was kind of right in a way. So I think Brisbane in a way. So there is the colourful ladder. That is the 2024, my predicted 2024 ladder. Now, if I do this, if I drop that, so let's organise this. So Brisbane and Collingwood, boom, boom, boom. There we go. So this would be the finals order. Let's put it that way. Try that. So let's go down here. So here we go. So first off, Brisbane and Collingwood. Since it's at the Gabba, since it would be at the Gabba, I'm tipping for it to be Brisbane, for it to be Brisbane over Collingwood. Carlton and Port Adelaide, the first of the elimination finals. Oh, this one's a tough one. This one's gonna be a really tough one. But I think Carlton at the end of the day. I think it'll be Carlton, to be fair, and that would be a Carlton and Collingwood final. Oh jeez. So yeah, and then that would mean Port Adelaide are out. Second v third, Melbourne and GWS. You know what? I think for at least another week, for at least another match, Melbourne's streak of finals losses would continue. I think GWS will qualify for the prelim, and then Melbourne as well. And this one's going to be a juicy one. Richmond and Adelaide. I think since it's at the MCG, and we all know how Adelaide's record is away from home, I'm going to tip Richmond. So that means it'll be a Melbourne-Richmond final, and both the Adelaide teams would be eliminated. So this will be for the second week here. Who would have thought that? Carlton and Collingwood and Melbourne and Richmond, two of the biggest rivals. Carlton and Collingwood. So Collingwood and Carlton. Oh, that one's a tough one. That one is very tough. But I just do I or do I not? Nah, I'm not going to embarrass myself again. I'm going Collingwood. I'm going Collingwood for this one. I'm straight up going Collingwood. I'm not going to make the same mistake again, and Carlton unfortunately are eliminated. Melbourne and Richmond. I think this is the game where that finals drought for Melbourne that comes to an end, or possibly. I just can't. I don't know. I was gonna say it, but I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna change my mind. I think Melbourne's finals drought will continue again, and Richmond play against Brisbane in the preliminary final. So that's the order for the prelim. By the way, I'll just get a quick look there. There you go. So Brisbane and Richmond. I think this will be a repeat. Well, I think it will be a repeat of the elimination final a couple of years ago. I'm not necessarily saying that it's going to be a high scoring game, which it probably might be, but I think it'll be a tight one. And I think it's the possibility that this might be the last game for the Brisbane Lions at the Gabba for quite a long time. Because if you guys all know, it's going to get redeveloped for the Olympic Games in 2032. I think that the Brisbane will lift, and I think that they will qualify for their second straight grand final. And this time, it is going to be GWS and Collingwood, but at this time, it's not going to be MCG. It's going to be at Giants Stadium. Is that going to be an advantage for GWS? I think it's a big enough call. I think it might be a good enough call for me. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. GWS. I know I might be wrong with this one, but Collingwood's out. So this leaves the grand final here. This is my predicted grand final. Brisbane and GWS. Take a good look at it. Take a good look. You might be thinking I'm on drugs. Me, an Essendon supporter, probably might think I am, but anyways. And quite obvious. My predicted Toyota AFL premiers for 2024, not surprisingly, are Brisbane. Yeah, I just couldn't. I think redemption will be completed in 2024, and finally, destiny would be coming onto Brisbane Lions and Chris Fagan's doorstep. Let's put it that way. So that is pretty much it for this video. So like this video, share to anybody who's a Brisbane Lions fan or a GWS fan or a Collingwood fan. Comment down below who have you got to win the 2024 AFL Premiership. Do you agree with me in Brisbane? Do you think Collingwood will go back to back? Do you think maybe GWS will finally get that elusive maiden premiership, or do you think it was somebody else? Just let me know in the comments. I love to hear your opinions. And lastly, somewhere down there, click on the big red button which is labeled subscribe. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later, and enjoy the 2024 AFL season. It is going to be a fun one.